Hello, beer tubers, and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter the Master of Hops. Today, joined by
Tom,
yes,
the Doom Lord.
the Doom Lord of Yeast. He got himself a name that he found out himself. Usually, it's people who actually just call people things in comments, or once in a while we also make up stuff for ourselves.
Nobody calls me anything.
No, yo, Tom.
Only behind my back
and cuss you out. But we're drinking more American craft beer, and this one comes courtesy of Steve. Steve sent me loads of beer last year, 16 different cans of all kinds of stuff from California, in this case, Oregon. So thanks to Steve for the beer. It's been great fun to try. We still have a couple left. I think actually this and a stout, and then we're pretty much through most. No, there's also actually some pastry or smoothie seltzer. So, but we'll get to that eventually as well. But we're starting off with this one today. So this is from Great Notion, and this is their Triple Blueberry Shake, a tart ale with blueberry and vanilla. So they have this series with this man on the label, and the more intense fruit, the bigger his pants are filled with fruit. Like, I think the base one is called like Jammy Pants, or there's a few different names, but it's just like this guy drinking kind of a smoothie thing, and then the higher the intensity, it just looks more nuts. But the art style and everything, as you also said off camera, is pretty cool.
It's a bit weird, but it's a weird thing. But on the other side, the colors and everything, I like it really much.
It's very much like mountainous or like a lumberjack vibes or something like that. Yeah. We've done a few different Great Notion beers, mainly IPAs on the channel. Their beer that got them fame was called a double stack, which was like a breakfast stout with maple syrup. But this is a totally different ballpark. And usually these beers are not my favorite, especially at least when they're like so super fruited, it's a smoothie. But this actually looks like a glass of beer.
And I don't have, I had COVID, but it's gone now, and I lost my smell. But I can smell blueberry from here.
Yeah, me too.
So that's going to be exciting.
But it also, if you look at it, this looks, like a kettle sour. It looks like it's gonna have maybe somewhat of a beery, or it doesn't necessarily have to like really be like classic old school German Berliner Weisse type stuff. But I just like that it's not just drinking a smoothie.
It's also got 10%, so
Berliner
Weisse is not
no.
right comparison.
I don't know, Imperial American Sour Ale, I don't even know what you would classify that as. It is an Imperial Sour Ale of sorts. But what would you call the color of this? It looks kind of like blueberries, actually.
Yeah, it does.
It's like that light,
definitely
like
not a pinkish. It's a purple haze.
Purple haze, like the song.
It's a bit hazy. It's purple. Yeah. It's not wrong.
Yeah, it's not like a bright pink head, but lightly pink. And this, again, blueberry and vanilla. And it says "Tangled Up in Blue" on there. That's also a song. That's a Bob Dylan song.
Okay, so we are going the right way here.
Yeah. Well, let's check out the aroma.
Wow.
It smells like blueberry yogurt with vanilla.
Yes, it's like
it smells. It's blueberry, crazy amounts of blueberry vanilla yogurt. Do you know what? It almost smells like blueberry candy too. It almost smells like they boosted it with blueberry flavoring.
Yeah, but at the moment I don't care. It's just really, really tasty, and I just want.
Oh, it smells tasty.
I just want to put my muesli in it.
There's so much. It really reminds me of blueberry yogurt. It's exactly like blueberry yogurt with vanilla. But you know what? The one thing is, like, I talked about this whole super fruited things. Like, this is going towards pastry kind of sour territory. Like, there's so much vanilla and so much like kind of crazy, almost artificial blueberry thing. But it smells tasty, and that's the thing with those beers. Like, they smell tasty and they also taste good. But often they're not my favorites. It doesn't smell sour per se.
No.
But they also called it a tart ale, not a sour ale. So maybe it's like kind of like more or less a heavily fruited like fruit beer. A lot of these kind of often end up being more that than sour. It smells more sweet than sour.
Sweet, round, mellow. I don't know. I wouldn't expect a sour actually by the smell. No. Just as you said.
But fairly simple. But it's really straightforward.
Let's try. I'm really excited to see if it holds up to
the aroma. Well, let's try it. Cheers. Thanks a ton, Steve. It is a tart beer. It's not sour.
Yeah.
Loads of blueberry yogurt. It is so much like it's quite tannic though. There must be real blueberries in it too, because it has a big tannic structure like blueberries does.
It's a
I think they
yeah.
use real blueberries and flavoring.
real blueberry that peel or
Yeah.
the tannic thing you get out of it. When I make blueberry yogurt myself, sometimes
It's almost
this is pretty similar.
it's almost got a bit of blueberry maple syrup flavor. Like the sweetness for me reminds me of not or blueberry syrup. Like you can get these flavored maple syrups, and a lot of restaurants have the blueberry one because it's really popular. There's almost vibes towards that, and then vanilla. It's like sweet, tart, but it's also a little bit malty. I'm getting some undercurrents of like a doughy bready malt, actually, which I like. I don't mind that in beers like this, but it's definitely towards the pastry side. It is like the malt is more like almost like a crusty pie crusty kind of bready thing, but it's huge on blueberry vanilla yogurt, I think.
It's beside the tannic thing, it's pretty much the same that you get in the aroma.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's not a surprise in any ways. Not even in the sourness.
No, it is
It's
tart.
slightly
It's
tart,
just-
maybe
yeah.
I don't know pH 4 or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah, I think this is
it's
like
not overly sour.
people who don't like sour beers. This is like a really good gateway into
I
it.
think
because
some
it's-
people wouldn't even notice it
Yeah.
as a sour beer.
It almost drinks more like a really intense fruit beer than it does a sour ale of any sort, of Berliner Weisse, Goose, whatever. But that's probably why they called it a tart ale instead. And then they also hit a broader audience, I guess.
But just imagine, I mean, the sexism debate and so on, but a girl's beer, in a way, I mean, it still has 10% ABV.
Yeah.
It can be a killer, this one. It's sweet, it's tasty, it's mellow. Yes, I think it's also pretty drinkable.
Yeah, it is. It is actually quite drinkable. It's quite refreshing. But vanilla is definitely present too. Like, it's very much breakfast. Like, really.
Actually, could imagine this to be barrel aged somehow.
Bourbon.
Yeah.
Do you know what we talked about for fun pairing this with bourbon? I think this will be very well paired with bourbon. To be honest, there is like that. If you get like this caramel fudgy maple vibe ish thing, you can get sometimes from bourbon. On top of that, it's actually, I imagine, being a good pairing.
It could also be, if you have the right bacteria in your barrel, it could also get a little bit more sour.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a
I like
problem
that
with this.
it like I wouldn't mind that it would be a bit more sour, but I think it has both dryness and it has I guess as they say, a tartness for it not to be cloyingly sweet, which is also nice because some of the crazy super fruited pastry sours are really sweet and they're not sour at all. But this is like, it's almost like this is the progenitor for what's going on right now. Like, I know these guys were doing this before a lot of these other breweries are doing lots of crazy stuff. And it almost seems like it's like taking this and going even further. But yeah, I've rambled enough. In terms of grade, what do we grade this? It's actually somewhat enjoyable, I must say. Like, I don't really hate it. I don't hate it as much as I've hated other of these super fruited beers. I think it's decent. It's like, I might even give this a 90 actually. Like, I actually enjoy drinking it. I don't think it's too sweet. There is somewhat of a balance. There's some maltiness. You know, even though if it's a little bit of artificial flavor, I think, I don't know, for some reason we just hit something right now where I feel like I actually enjoy it more than I usually do with these kind of crazy fruit beers.
I like it, to be honest. Possibly 90, 92.
It's actually, you know, for what it is quite nice. I didn't expect to like it this much, to be honest. Like, but it's all. I think it's also because it's not over the top and overdone.
And we should not forget, it's 10% ABV, and I don't get booze.
No, but sweetness helps with that, and there is a little bit. But
And
again, it's not
blueberry
overdone.
helps with it, and vanilla helps.
Yeah. But I think a big part of it might also be just because it's not so crazy. Like, I think the ones I really hate have been those that are pouring gloopy out of the can and they're overly sweet and it's like they're just too much. Like, this is, even though it's somewhat extreme, it's still somewhat more balanced. Yeah, I'm gonna eat my own words. I kind of like this for pastry sour beer, which is weird. It's rare that happens, but it's quite all right. Yeah. So hey, I actually didn't expect that. I'm so really surprised. I really thought I'd hate this going into this. To be honest, 100% honest. But I actually like it. It's, you know, I don't think it's stupid as I do with all these other things. But yeah, nice stuff. So if you guys had a chance to try a triple blueberry shake, and it's got artificial flavoring probably and stuff, but for some reason I still like it. I don't know what the fuck's going on today. Because usually I'm totally like, God, it's too artificial. But in this, do you think it seems too artificial? No. There's just, there's just something that's slightly.
Okay, I mean, most of the blueberry yogurt you get to buy is
So artificial. Yeah.
Maybe that's why it works out so well.
Yeah, because that's what we're used to.
Yes.
And maybe it works out well because it also has malt character and all this. Like it has some wheatiness and all the crackery thing.
It's a beer.
It's a beer.
No
It's a beer with fruit.
Yeah.
It's not fruit puree. Maybe that's why. But yeah, if you guys had a chance to try a triple blueberry shake from Great Notion, let us know what you thought of it. Thanks a ton to Steve for this. This was really fun to try. I've tried a couple of these different beers from these guys, and they make some nice stuff. They make lots of crazy stuff though. So blueberry muffin sour beers as well, and all kinds of silly stuff. But yeah, if you guys had a chance to try this one, let us know what you thought of it. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos, and we're going to say cheers.
Cheers.
In 10% blueberry vanilla sour beer. And see you guys in the beer review.